The Thief's Story, Ruskin Bond, explanation of the lesson continued.
My hand slid under the mattress, searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side towards me. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes at my waist, held there by the string of my pajamas. I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes, 600 rupees in 50s. I could live like an oil-rich Arab for a week or two. When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life, but dashed straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. The train had still to pick up speed, and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages, but I hesitated. For some reason I can't explain, and I lost the chance to get away. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help. And I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. So the narrator says, we know what his intention was. He wanted to rob the money. So his hand slid under the mattress and he was looking out for the notes. He found them and he took it out without making a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and he turned on his side towards the narrator. The narrator was startled and he quickly crawled out of the room. When he reached the road, he began to run. The notes were held by the string of his pajamas. He walked slowly down the road and counted the notes. How many notes were there? There were 600 rupees in 50s. And the narrator says to himself that with this amount he could live for a week or two. He could live like an oil-rich Arab. We know that the Arab country is rich in oil, and that is why he uses it's figurative, where he says that he could live like an oil-rich Arab. He reached the station. Now, since he was a robber, he had never purchased a ticket all his life when he traveled. So he did the same thing. He dashed straight to the platform, and this Lucknow Express was just moving out. He could have jumped into one of the carriages, but the narrator hesitated. Now, why do you think he hesitated to board the train? Probably unconsciously he felt that if he left Anil, he would lose something precious. He would lose someone precious, and therefore he hesitated to board the train. He did not board the train, so the train left and he was standing alone there on the lonely or the deserted platform. Now the narrator had no idea where to spend the night, because the narrator, being a thief, he had no friends. He felt that friends were more trouble than help. Now why trouble? Because probably he thought that if he had friends, they would tell the police about his whereabouts, and this would create trouble for himself. So therefore he never had friends. So naturally he was now standing alone on the platform. He didn't have any friends, so he couldn't go to anyone's house. He also did not want to stay at any of the small hotels near the station. So the only person that he thought about was Anil, the man that he had robbed. So he left the station, walked slowly through the bazaar to go to Anil's place. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face, when he discovered the theft, would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on the bench. The night was chilly. It was early November and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin, and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. Anil's money. In the morning, he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. But now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences any more. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentences, I knew, could one day bring me more than a few 100 rupees. It was a simple matter to steal, but sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. I should go back to Anil. I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. The narrator was a thief, and in his short career as a thief, he had made a study of men's faces. So he knew how to face read. Now, what is face reading? Is observing the expressions and emotions on the faces of the people and interpreting them correctly. So the narrator had become very good at reading men's faces. He knew that probably on a greedy man, his face would show fear. The rich man's face would show anger. A poor man's face would show acceptance. And he says that if Anil would have discovered the theft, then his face would show a touch of sadness. Why sad? Not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. So the narrator felt very bad and he walked slowly towards the Maidan. He sat down on the bench. It was early November. The night was chilly. There was a light drizzle. Drizzle is light rain, which added to the narrator's comfort. And suddenly then it started raining heavily. He got totally drenched, or he was completely wet, and his clothes were sticking to his skin. Moreover, the cold wind that was blowing, that made it even unbearable. So he goes back to the bazaar and he sits under the shelter of the clock tower. It was 12 o'clock and he tried to feel the notes. The notes were all wet because of the rain. Now here the narrator is pondering over his theft. What is he pondering about? While he's pondering, he's also regretting. What is he regretting? That henceforth he would not cook for Anil. He would not make Anil's meals. He would not have to run to the bazaar. He would not learn to write whole sentences. So all this he began pondering. He regretted that he would not become a big and clever, respected man. So these were all the thoughts that came to his mind while he was sitting under the shelter of the clock tower. These were all his regrets. I hurried back to the room feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed, and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50-rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. I made some money yesterday, he explained. Now you will be paid regularly. My spirits rose, but when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Today we'll start writing sentences, he said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. Here the narrator says that he hurried back to the room, but he was very nervous. Now, why was he nervous? Because he wanted to return the money, but he was afraid that Anil would probably catch him. So the narrator says that it is easier to steal something than to return it undetected. So therefore, he quietly goes towards Anil's bed and he puts the money back under the mattress. He puts the notes under the mattress. The next morning, the narrator woke up very late and Anil had already made the tea. He had a 50-rupee note between his fingers and he gave that to the narrator. The narrator's heart sank. The meaning of this phrase, heart sank, is he felt depressed because he thought that he had been discovered. But Anil ignored what had happened and he tells the narrator that he had made some money the previous day and now he will be paid regularly. So with this, the narrator felt a little hopeful. He also felt hopeful because Anil told him that he would now teach him to write whole sentences. Anil knew about the theft. Anil knew that Hari Singh, the narrator, had robbed him, but he decided to ignore. It was a tact that he used. So he ignored what had happened and tells him that he would teach him to write whole sentences. So this response brought about a change in Hari Singh. So instead of his usual smile, he gave a genuine, attractive smile. That's because Anil decided to ignore and he provided motivation to Hari in order to change his dishonest ways.